Hi YouTube, it is time for my review on, Paranormal Activity 2. I did a review on Paranormal Activity 1 a few weeks ago, and you can expect a review of Paranormal Activity 3 in a few weeks' time as well. And if you want to request me to do a review, either comment below, or if you don't have a YouTube account, email me. My email's in the description. And just as a heads up, there are no spoilers in this review until the end, and I will warn you before they are coming. So right now, you do not need to worry about spoilers. Okay, so Paranormal Activity 2 is directed by Kit Williams, and it's on for 94 minutes. And what can I say about it? I think it's one of the few sequels, in my opinion, that is actually better than the original. And believe me, as you'll learn in the future when I do more reviews, you will learn that I am not a big fan of some sequels. But Paranormal Activity 2 is one of them. Now, I love Paranormal Activity 2, and here are a few reasons. One is that I think it intertwines with the first movie really well. Like, there is actually a lot of connection from the first movie to the second movie plot-wise, and I thought they did that really well. Like, some people weren't expecting any connection at all, but like, particularly at the end of the movie, there is a huge connection from the first movie to the second movie. And I think in my review of the first Paranormal Activity movie, I did say that I said that it could have had a bit more story, and that was like my only complaint about it. Well, Paranormal Activity 2 makes the first movie have more story, if that makes sense. Because the first movie was scary, but is just a lot of random stuff happening. But you later learn in the second movie that it's not just random stuff. It was all meaning something. Sorry, my computer glitched out. And another thing I really liked about it was the pacing. Now, a lot of people did not like this about Paranormal Activity 2, and they also did not like this about Paranormal Activity. And these are generally the people who do not like the film series. Well, if you don't like them, then don't watch them. It's as simple as that. I would say that if you got bored in the first movie, you would find the second movie even more boring by the slow pacing, because the pace in the second movie is even slower. Like, it takes a longer time to build up. And the reason for that is simple. In the first Paranormal Activity movie, we only really needed to know two characters well, whilst in Paranormal Activity 2, it was a bigger family in a bigger house, and so we just needed that extra little build up, so we knew the characters who were being terrorized better. The ending. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything, don't worry, but I'm just going to make a few comments about the ending. I like the ending to Paranormal Activity 2. I must say, it's probably not quite as terrifying as the ending in the first Paranormal Activity movie, but it certainly made a lot more sense. I'll just say that, because like there were there was one thing that happened in the ending that I didn't like about it, but it wasn't as in your face as the ending to the first movie, but it definitely had more story to it, like the ending, and it also leaves you on a cliffhanger ending. So as soon as I was in the cinema for the second movie, which was like 2 years ago, I wanted the third movie to start immediately. So the ending wasn't bad. Um, the acting, the acting in the movie was, it was good by some people, but not so much by others. My favourite two actors was, one of them, the guy who played the dad, whose name is Daniel, but it's no big name actor. I just thought he did a really good job of being the non-believer of the story. And the girl who played Ali, the teenage daughter, I thought she did a really good job as the believer of the story. Like, she was really into the whole paranormal activity, and she studied it a lot, and I thought she did a very good job. But Christy, she was a bit annoying at times, but like, I think this is the best way I can put it. She was either underacting or overacting. I must say that. So I didn't really like her, but oh well. But the actor who I really hated was the dude who played Bradley in the movie. Now, Bradley was Ali's boyfriend. Now, I thought Bradley was an awful actor, but it doesn't really matter because he only appeared for like 10 minutes of the movie in total, so it doesn't really matter. And the scares were really good as well. There were not very many jump scares like the first movie, although in the second one there was one huge jump scare, and I'll talk about that one in the spoiler section. But if you've seen the movie, I'm pretty damn certain that you know which one I'm talking about. But there was only one jump scare, and I think that horror movies really only need one jump scare in their movie. But the rest of the scares were just creepy, I would say, which is good, so I did like the scares. And my only problem with Paranormal Activity 2, well, there's two problems, but one of them doesn't really matter. The one that doesn't really matter is the fact that there were credits in the movie. Now, in the first movie, I thought that having no credits was a really good idea, because when there's credits, it seems like a movie. And so the first movie seemed more real. But the second movie, it had credits, and it just made it seem a bit less real, but oh well. But my main problem is that in the second movie, although the first 3/4, I guess I could say, of the movie was really slow paced, there was one major plot point in the movie which I felt was way too rushed. Now, it wasn't like the final scene of the movie, but it was pretty close to the ending, and it's just so rushed. Like, the movie's only 94 minutes, there's no reason why they couldn't have spent an extra 10 minutes, like, explaining what's going on. Like, you had to watch it a few times before you really got the idea of what was going on. And I'll tell you which bit I mean in the spoilers section, which is now. Okay, so if you have not seen Paranormal Activity 2, please sign out of this video now, because I'm going to ruin it for you. Okay, you have been warned. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Now, spoilers. I'm going to start off with a few surprises in the movie, okay. So for me, the first major surprise in Paranormal Activity 2 was when Katie walked in the room for the first time, and she was being nice. Like, when she first walked in, I was shocked that it happened so fast, because I was expecting her to go on a rampage like she did at the ending, but no. And then, so you were a bit confused, but then there was that creepy bit when they asked, "Where's Mika?" And then Kay's like, "Oh, he didn't feel like hanging out right now." So I was into the movie at that point, because at that moment I realised that it was going to have some connections to the first movie. And then when Mika walked in, was an even bigger surprise, but then you learnt that it was a prequel, so you knew what was going on. And the one scare that I was talking about, I really don't need to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. The scene in the kitchen where, like, I remember in cinema I jumped a foot, but I'm glad that was the only jump scare, because I think a lot of times in modern horror, jump scares are way overused. But the only other the bit that I was talking about that I was not so fond of in Paranormal Activity 2, that I thought was too rushed, was the bit when Daniel was passing on the demon from Christy to Katie. Now, I thought that idea was a really good idea, because it basically combines the two movies perfectly, but it was too rushed. And I seriously think that there should have been a whole scene of, like, the nanny sitting them down and explaining to them what they have to do, because the only way you can pick it up is when you hear Ali and Daniel fighting. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about the ending, that's over and done with. Now, okay, so the last scene of the movie is the only scene of the movie that is a sequel. Like, the rest is all a prequel. Now, if you've seen the movie, that'll make sense, or which you probably have since you're watching the spoilers section. So now, I thought the scariest thing about the ending was Daniel's death, where Katie was standing in the background on a non-focus point of the screen, so like you get really creeped out because it takes you a few seconds to spot her, and then she snaps his neck, and then that's just more disturbing than creepy, but is still a cool idea. But I did not like when Christy died. I thought that was a bit corny. But I did love the bit when Katie took Hunter and left the room. I thought that bit was really well done, and then the words appeared and explaining what had just happened. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up my review for Paranormal Activity 2. If you want to request me to do a movie review, then just comment or email me. Oh yeah, I've already said that, sorry, at the start of the review. Sorry. So thanks for watching, guys.